Hunger and passion are two qualities which are absolutely essential for any musician wanting to make an album, and someone who has both of those qualities in abundance is My Traya. Jamie, aka My Traya, welcome to the show.
Kia ora, how you doing?
Good, thank you. Now we're here today to talk to you about your album, Close to Home, which you've got in your hands or in your pocket.
Got it in my pocket here.
Let's have a look at that.
Sit there.
Now you've had that out for a few months now?
Yeah, it's been out in Europe for since April last year. It's not actually out in stores in Aotearoa yet. We're going to do that just after April this year.
But people in New Zealand can actually still get their hands on that if they want to.
Sorry, yeah, you can get it. You can get it online at either on my website, which is oneloveandlight.com, or sellaband.com.
Yep. Now, given that you're sort of doing an international kind of release for this, your background is quite complex, I guess you could say. Could you take us back to like when you first started out making music?
Yeah, I started in Christchurch, I guess about '95 with Nil State. Nil State was a collective out of Salmonella, a couple of guys from Salmonella Dub, and then a couple of guys from a band called Chicane back at the time, and then me and Shawnee Mack, who were just MCs from Hagley High, and we did our thing, and then I started doing my thing with Dark Tower when I came up to Auckland. We did, a few things like Baggy Trousers and Dave Dobbin songs and stuff like that. And then I went over to America and started working with Jay-Z and doing street teaming through New York City and doing my own thing over there with shows. And hooked up with a company called Sellaband.com, and that was how I raised the money to get this album recorded.
I mean, the method that got you to actually make your album is quite unconventional.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a bit more about Sellaband, please?
Yeah, Sellaband.com it's a Dutch company. It was created by three guys. One guy who was ex-Sony Records, two guys ex-Sony, and one guy who was like an ex-Chevron dude or something, just a young 24-year-old with a crazy idea. And he had this idea that you could get artists to put their music on a website just like MySpace, and you could get fans to come along and invest in the album that they will make like in the future. So the idea is that these artists have to raise $50,000 from fans who come along and just dig their music.
And that's US $50,000, isn't it?
Yeah, US 50, which is worth a bit more now, isn't it?
Quite a bit.
And so yeah, man, that's what that is. And I got along, and man, I think it was the end of 2006, right at the end of 2006, and they're a pretty young company then, and I just sort of took off. I got it within about 6 or 7 months.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, started making the album. So
are there, these avenues for other artists if they're particularly interested in this method of getting their music out there? Can you just go ahead to that website?
You can. Sellaband.com is it's written on this album here. I don't think you'll be able to see it, but it's Sellaband, which is .com, which is pretty easy. Get on there, put your music up there. There's now, what's her name? There's a New Zealand girl on there right now called Katie. Yeah. And she's really cool, and she's got like, $5 or $6 grand, I think. So get on there. If you're a believer, get on there and believe in her. If you're an artist, get on there and put your music up there. Yeah.
Excellent. Now, more recently, we've been seeing the video from the album Lot of Love, which features Hedda.
Yep.
You've got a few other artists which are familiar to New Zealanders featured on Close to Home too, haven't you?
Yeah. I did a song with Tama Waipara, who I actually met over in New York.
Funnily enough,
because I'd never met him in Aotearoa, and we had all the same friends. Yeah, but we used to just jam, and we did gigs together and stuff like that. And he came to me one day with this amazing guitar line and this amazing vocal melody, like he just does so effortlessly, and it made a lot of sense to me, and we wrote a song real quick, and it made it to the album, which is Choice. Yeah. That's the only other New Zealand artist, I think, on the album, apart from Hera, who's also pretty huge in Iceland these days. Yeah, and then a couple of guys from UK and America.
Cool. And that song, Lot of Love, is it's probably one of the more dancey, kind of upbeat songs on the album. Yeah. What's it actually about?
That's about coming from Aotearoa and the idea of being proud of coming from Aotearoa, no matter what section you come from, you know, whether you're Māori or Pākehā, Pacific Island, Asian, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter, we all kind of come from this love of the whenua, of the land, and then taking that and bringing it overseas and, like, you know, bringing that positivity and that light. It's only when you've been overseas that you can really start to let me say, when you've been overseas, you start to really appreciate the light that we have here in Aotearoa. Yeah, which is cool.
There you go, everyone. Go and buy your plane ticket and do a round the world trip and then come back home, because you never want to leave, you know.
Yeah, distance is the great, you know, what is it? The great illuminator, isn't it? You really see things. Yeah, which is cool.
Well, now the album Close to Home is going to drop in New Zealand in April. Is that what you said?
Hopefully April, May, something like that, yeah. You know how it depends on a few things.
But if people would like to, you know, investigate you further, how can they do that?
OneLoveAndLight.com is my website, One Love and Light. And, you know, you can also go to, if you see the name on the screen, Lotta Love, go to lottalove.co.nz, and that'll get you everywhere you need to go from there too. Yeah.
Maitreaya, it's been a pleasure.
Kia ora, thank you very much.
We're going to check out the Maitreaya video, this one featuring Hera. This is Lotta Love.